And I'm going to start the recording right now. WebClass series, Learn to Trade While Stuck at Home, Wednesday, March the 25th, 2020. My name is Hugh, along with my co-host Alex, and we're going to be teaching you some stuff, going over some stuff. Folks, there's a questions box. You'll find that little questions box icon on your GoToWebinar dashboard. Just click on that. Now, Alex and I are the only ones to see that, and we love to take your questions at the end of the term, okay? All right, now I got to read this. The lawyers keep after me. Got to make the disclaimer. So real quick, by attending this webinar, you fully understand and accept the financial risks involved in trading securities. The risk of loss can be substantial. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you in light of your personal investment objectives and financial resources. By accessing this webinar, you understand you are not receiving any advice as to what or when to buy or sell, but are simply receiving information for educational purposes only. Any decisions concerning your trade are solely your own to meet your personal objectives and risk tolerances. You alone are responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. What do? We trade. We day trade options on SPY. One stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day, period. That's all we do. We day trade options on SPY. One stock, one strategy, 1 hour a day. I got to tell you, there's a lot of money to be made just doing this. You don't have to venture off anywhere else looking for that, I don't know what it is you look for. Some people always keep looking for something. They don't even know that when they found something good that this is what they should do, right? I know I've talked to people, and I've been talking to people all day. Alex, I know you talk to people all day. Um, how do you find it? Do you find people are always looking for things, spreads, they're looking for this, looking for that? I don't know.
Yeah, I get that question all the time. What if we traded this or that, or have I looked at a particular stock? And for me personally, I got involved trading options here a few years back, options on SPY. What I really liked about it was that it felt very consistent. I'm not checking all kinds of different companies here. I'm not using all kinds of different strategies. SPY is versatile enough. It's liquid enough. It has so many of these great characteristics, and it moves every day, and it moves sufficiently to move the options to give me a decent profit. And 5% might not sound like so much. It might not sound like very much for a single trade. Everyone wants a move where they make 20, 30, 50%, whatever. But if you trade small and trade often and then look for these small gains, 5-6% along the way, it really adds up quickly.
Absolutely. And just folks, a little bit so you know who Alex is. He's actually a pretty smart guy. He's got his MBA, he's got his engineering degree, and he's worked for major international firm in engineering. But Alex, you're trading now. This is what you do. You're a trader. You're a trader.
Yeah, I'm the smart one. I'm also the taller one and the better looking one.
Well, there's something that comes with youth, but I have the experience. Okay, I have the wisdom. So hopefully between the two of us we make a good pair here. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, one stock, one strategy, but you're a trader, so you know what side your bread is buttered on, right? You're not going to work every day and worried about contracting diseases and different things. I got to tell you, folks.
So someone at the Sorry, I was going to say, someone at the grocery store asked me the other day if I was still at work with all this going on. I said, actually life isn't all that different. I work from home. I can enjoy this life working from home or being flexible like this. So actually some of my freedoms here are a little bit impacted, but my work life is really kind of the same amid all this, and that's actually kind of a nice thing. That's a nice thing about trading options.
Well, the nice, and I remember you would actually spend a lot of time at work. You would actually get up early in the morning and get your spot on the interstate and go to work. And by the time you get home, it would be late. And this is the thing that's sort of, I know I've been there and done that. But the thing is, you don't see the kids because when you leave, they're sleeping, and when you come home, you've got maybe a half hour, an hour with them, and then they're back to bed. And the years go by very fast when kids are young, and one thing you don't want to do is sort of miss all that, because the kids are going to start asking their mother, whenever you are at home at that time, you say, "Mom, who's the strange man in the house?" Or you have to reintroduce yourself to your family every time you come home, and or worse, it could actually. And I've heard of horror stories where a guy comes home from work one day and he's off on a business trip. He comes home and there's a note on the thing, moved out, and good luck, type of thing. That's not fun. Not that that's going to happen or anything like that, but it's just not fun always being beholden to a job, somewhere else, and a job just over broke. That's what job means, just over broke. But when you're trading, you can actually control your own life, and that's what's really cool. And I got to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time. All right, over the years, we figured out what works and what doesn't work in both trading and training. So now more than ever, why trade SPY? Now that you're stuck at home, I look at it as a blessing. I think, this is actually really cool. You're formally now at home. You don't have to play hooky and call the boss and tell him you're sick and you're staying home because there's a good trade coming up, right? But why trade SPY? Well, you can work from the safety and comfort of your home. You can work whenever you want, as much or as little as you want. There's no punching a clock. Nobody knows or even cares whether you're there or not. You'll have no overhead or inventory to maintain. It's not like you're running a business. I mean, my heart goes out to all of those thousands or millions of businesses out there that are now closed because somebody told them you cannot open because we are afraid that people are going to get sick and die. And I just cannot imagine, for example, running, I don't know, a bookstore, a restaurant, a hotel, anything when you have overhead because you have rent to pay, you have mortgages, you have inventory. You don't have any of that with SPY trading except your computer, which you already have. And I mean, that's pretty cool. You'll have no employees, no government agencies to appease. You don't have a health board or a fire department or any of these, labor boards coming in, knocking on your door, having to, produce papers for them as far as logs for whatever reason. You'll have no customers that you have to try and find or service or try to collect from after you sell them something. You can start with a little bit of money and your potential is absolutely unlimited, and you're absolutely rewarded for your own skill, diligence, discipline, patience, and you even have, believe it or not, favorable tax concessions in most parts of the world. That is why you should trade SPY. And I'm going to be bold and say, that's right. Yes, you should trade SPY because of those reasons and more. Then the next question is, well, why trade with us? Who are we? We have the experience you need. We've got personal support that you crave. We've got value pricing in everything we do. Okay, and I've been told we have these business advisors that Alex, these guys, they come around and say, well, let's take a look. And we pay these guys the big bucks and they analyze what we're doing and say, well, you should do this, you should do that. And we fight with them all the time and say to them, well, let's keep it at this price so we can get more people. Hey, it's really nice to get a client at $25,000 a month type of thing. And, and you'll get some. But, I'd rather get more people at a lot less money so that they're all actually able to learn this and make some serious money. So we fight with them all the time, but they're the smart ones, right? They're the smart guys that went through school and they know all that stuff. But anyway, we have the experience and we have the empathy for people so that we kind of know that, well, listen, not everybody's got that kind of money to put into things, but some do, some don't. So we try to appease everybody and make everybody happy here. We're actually approachable. We are accommodating and we are of service to you. We have no hidden agenda, no costly upsells. And I'm sure many of you have gone to these courses and you go through the courses and then, you learn some stuff, but oh, you want the good stuff? Yeah, that's another $5,000. That's another $10,000. And you're given a whole stack of books or DVDs and stuff that you have to go home and learn. And then when you ever try calling a tech support line or some kind of a support line, you never get the person that you want. In fact, so often you don't even get a call back, or you don't get to talk to somebody you want when you need to. There's none of that with us. We trade what we teach, we treat, and we teach what we trade. Very, very simple. We keep things as simple as possible. We've got proven programs that work. And I think that says a lot, okay? That says a lot with the experience and everything else. We kind of figured out things that work and what don't. So with all of that, I got to tell you, Alex, here's what happened since that last session that I had. I don't know if you were on and saw that, but let me just take a sip of my tea here. One of the things that happens when you speak all day is your throat gets a little dry. So I'm just drinking my chamomile tea. So I had an email exchange with a couple of people about that last webinar. And one of the ladies who's been with us for a very long time, she said, Hugh, That's very nice of what you just said, all those things, but that's not why I'm with you. I said, "Oh, why are you with us?" And she sent me a list of things, and I thought it was so good. I thought, you know what? I'll put that list up as well. I think you might like this list. She said, "We care about your success." And I thought that was very good. "We respond to your questions and emails." And she said to me, "Every time I emailed you guys, you got back to me very quickly. Might not have been the same minute, but I never had to wait a long time at all. And I've never had a service that actually does that. I normally, if I had a service that I used to use before, or some of these other services, you email them, and I don't know where it goes, but it sure doesn't come back to me. And so often I get a generic email, an answer that doesn't really answer my question. But you guys actually correspond with us, and you provide timely answers, not days or weeks later or never at all. I'm very confident that you are going to answer me when I ask a question. It doesn't even matter what my question, and we got this interactive thing going on. She said, it doesn't even matter what the question is. It could be, what other people might think is a stupid question. Excuse me, stupid question, but you answer them all, and you're very respectful. And she said, we like to tease each other, especially Dale Ann in the mornings. You know how in the mornings when we get together and just before we start our trading room sessions, our winner circle trading room, we have some interaction, and sometimes Dale Ann pipes up and throws some shots in there. We tease each other. She really likes that. And she says, we treat you with respect and we don't call you names. I said, what do you mean call you names? She says, oh, yeah, yeah. She says, there's this one service. The guy gets very excited and very mad. And he starts pounding the table and he calls you names. He calls you stupid and all kinds. I said, whoa, really? So yeah, we don't do that. I said, no, we don't do that. And she likes the fact that we're actually very lighthearted and even entertaining and very calming, especially in bad trades. And she says that actually saved her a lot of her trades, where she would feel that the pressure is to, oh my gosh, I better get out of this bad position, or I'm toast. And yet, we have this calming effect on her, and she stays with it. And then, eventually it turns back up, goes in her favor, and she ends up making money, and she's all happy. And she walks away at the end of the day feeling pretty good. And I thought that was all pretty cool. And we're just a fun bunch of people to hang around with. So what do you think of that, Alex? What do you think of that? Hello, Alex.
Sounds about right. I spend oh gosh, I don't even know, tons of my time answering emails. So that's definitely very true. We do get back to people as quickly as we can, and and I think we like to pride ourselves on that the fact that between Hugh and myself and Dale Ann, we do respond to each email personally. It doesn't go off to some overseas service. You don't get just an auto response, nothing like that. We actually do read everything, and we do respond to everything.
That's right. All right. And you
To
know,
much. I mean, it's might not be the life that we always wanted, but yeah, here we are.
and you know what? You might not get the answer that you want either. You might not get the answer you want, but we're going to be straightforward. We're going to be straight shooters with you. And sometimes I have to deliver some really bad news to people, and I hate it. Actually, it pains me to do that. I really don't like doing that, but sometimes we have to. But I will tell you the way it is, the way I see it. Of course, these are my opinions. Honestly, I really don't know anything, but I mean, nobody does know anything, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But and there's another thing. I had another wonderful chat with. I'm just looking to see if he's up on the board. I don't think he's here tonight right now. I actually got off the line with him a little while before we started this, but he said, Hugh, you know why I'm with you? And he said to me, today's the third anniversary that he'd been with us, Kevin, and he kind of comes and goes at times because they need travel or whatever, and that's fine. But we chat a lot together, and he said, I'll be honest with you. He said, trading is a very lonely thing to do, and it's true. Trading is very, very lonely, and you could be stuck. And if you're alone in a trade and you're not really sure, you know, did I do a good trade? Is this a good position? Is this a bad position? Should I be doing this? What should I be doing? When am I missing something? You feel like you're alone in this massive ocean. You're in a rowboat and you don't know what to do, and your money is on the line. Trading can be very lonely. Now I got to tell you, Kevin this morning picked up, he's so excited. He did 7 trades today, mostly before 11 o'clock. And then he took a nap and then he came back and did another couple of trades. And he had 6 winners, 1 loser. He cut the loss short. He ended up in the 7 trades making about $2,700. And that's what I was kind of hoping he'd be up on the board here. I don't see his name. We got a lot of people here, so I'm just trying to see if I can quickly scan his name so we can talk a little bit about it. But I don't see him up here, but that's okay. Maybe he took another nap after this exhausting kind of a thing. But what we do is, folks, we are here with you, right, with the trades. So you're not alone. And you're not only not alone, but you're actually with 2 pro traders, Alex and myself. This is what we do. It's not like, we work at the car wash during the day. We come back and do this at night. You know what I'm saying? It's not this is our full-time thing that we do, trade and help people trade. And it's comforting to know that you can actually pull on somebody's expertise whenever you need some help, or even if you just you want to hang out, right? And so you hang out in the trading room or wherever. All right, so that's what we do. Now, I want to tell you, because there are a lot of new people on here who don't really know too much about options. And I was going to skip over these slides based on the results that we got from those polls that we just did here a little while ago. For those of you who are new, welcome, and I want to tell you a little bit about options. Now, most traders start out trading equities, of course, right? All you hear about is trading, I think I'll buy some Apple stocks or Google stocks or something. So that's kind of the first thing you do. You buy stocks. Well, I don't know if you've been watching the price of stocks these days, but I don't know about you, but I can't afford to buy thousands of shares of Tesla or Netflix or Priceline or anything. So I mean, these are very expensive, right? But options have the ability to bring a lot of people into the trading game without having to spend a lot of money, and it's absolutely amazing how you can do that. Now, options actually started out as a vehicle to hedge funds back in the 1970s, as I understand it, for the big guys. But now anybody and everybody can actually trade options. Now, there are different strategies to trade options, and some are very, very risky. The way we trade, all right, we limit risk with the way we trade. What we do is we buy first and then we sell. Now, you might think that's a little funny. It isn't, because you can actually sell first and then you buy. But you can also put yourself in a very precarious position. You don't want to do that. So the way we trade, we limit risk. And options, it's not that difficult. There are 2 things you have to remember. If you expect the market to go up, you buy what's called a call option. You buy calls. These are contracts. If you expect the market to go down, you buy a put option. Calls up, put down. Call up, put down, right? And these are actually contracts. You have certain rights and obligations with these things. An option is actually a contract with the options holder that gives you the right, but not the obligation, to trade the underlying stock for a certain price by a certain date. So what we do is we limit risk with options. Our moves are quick. I think, Alex, you were in it for a couple of minutes. I was in for a couple of minutes. I know Kevin, who I talked to earlier today, he was in and out of these things in a matter of a few minutes on each trade. So these trades are quick. Sometimes you might be a little longer than normal, but that's okay. And the leverage is absolutely huge. And that's why you don't need much of a move on the underlying stock to make some pretty serious money on the option. And that's what gives you the benefit of these things, right? So let me give you an example here. Even in high volatility times like we have right now, and the volatility has been very, very high, but there still exists a lot of potential gains in both call options and put options. I just took the screenshot of some calls. These are, I just took the highs and the lows here for calls and puts today. These are at the money options. Alex, I don't even know which expiration date these were. I just pulled them at random, but you're going to see these numbers on all of the chains where, it's the difference between the highs and lows is often 200-300% or much higher every day. Every day. Take a look here. The low of 260, the high 984. Is that not like 3 times the amount? 380, 1254, almost 3 times the value. So if you put $1,000 into a trade, you can have the potential of making 3,000. That's if you bought it at the low and sold for the high. But the reality is we're not trying to get 300% or 200% or 100%. We're just trying to get maybe 5 or 6% or 7%. And we can do that multiple times per day because the stock does not move in straight lines. It goes up and it goes down. And there are many times you can get in and out, in and out. So this is how a lot of people make a lot of money, double-digit daily gains by going in and out a number of times a day, just picking up those little bits on every trade. And it's actually really, really cool the way to do that. All right, so here I'm going to give you a comparison of the stock and options if you were to enter this and you're looking at getting into the stock market and you're looking at buying 100 shares. Now this would be SPY. This would be 100 shares of SPY. And I think what I'm going to do here is I should probably identify that as SPY. All right, let me see if I can do this here. Text box. All right, if I put this up here, this is SPY. Very simple. There it is right there. This is the SPY, right? SPY stock. If you were to buy 100 shares of the stock of SPY, you would pay today about $247 a share. So it'll cost you about $24,700. And I also want to write in here exclusive of commissions, just to keep this somewhat simple, okay? And everybody's going to have a little bit of a different commission structure and all that, but and commissions, it's not going to amount to very much money. So this is just straight buying and selling shares and contracts. If you bought the stock, $24,700. If you want to control the same 100 shares of the underlying stock, you would buy one contract. Each contract controls 100 underlying shares. And a typical contract today would have been $6.87. So because it does control 100 underlying shares, you would have to multiply that by 100. So you would pay $687 for a contract, and you're still controlling the same 100 shares. So let's say the stock moves up $1. Well, suddenly your $24,700 investment is now $24,800. Wow, exciting. But your option will move up if you have a 50 delta. That means the delta is actually one of what they call the Greeks, and that is the relationship that represents the relationship between the underlying stock and the option. So if you see a 48 delta, that means if the stock goes up $1, your option goes up 48 cents. But typically at the money option, which is what the 687 would be, it would be a 50 delta, Alex? I think a 50 delta, which would give you an option value of $7.37. So now your option is worth $737 with the same dollar move. Well, here's the difference on the return on investment. What would you rather have? 0.004% or 7.3%? I think actually, maybe this actually could be wrong. I think actually, Alex, I think it's probably 0.4%. Maybe you can check this, Alex. What do you think? I think it's actually 0.4%. Either way, give me the 7.3%. I'll take that over any of these other numbers, like the 0.4%. I think that 7.3% is a much more appealing return on investment than 0.4%. So that's the comparison. And I can honestly tell you, the people that go to options after stocks, I don't see anybody going back to stocks. When was the last time you traded stocks, Alice?
Oh, I have no idea really. It has been very long, a very long time ago, and you are right. It is 0.004%. That's
Oh,
what that $1 would represent.
so that is 0.004%. Is that right? Okay. Okay, I better go back and change it. I better go back and change that. So it is 0.004%. I thought the percent actually makes it like, takes those two zeros up, but 0.004.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, you were right to begin with. Yeah, no, I
Okay.
had 100 shares in there. That's the trouble. Okay.
Okay, so I think that proves that actually I am the smart one again, right? I'm the smart one now. I'm smarter than you on that one or no? I don't know. Jury's
Well, no, you questioned your math to begin with, so I think your you questioning your math still makes me the smarter one.
okay. All right. Well, we'll give that one to you. We'll give that one to you. We'll see where we are later on if that's the case. That's good though. All right, gang. Whatever it is, the options are still the winner here by a long shot. Long shot. So trading in volatile times. We are actually in very volatile times right now. And there are three ways you can actually, well, you need to stay positive. Okay, there's some things that you can do to stay positive, and I think the people that are positive, and that's one of the criteria that I actually picked up from talking to Kevin today, and how he made 7 trades, and he walked away with a $2,700. And by the way, he doesn't trade a lot. I think 10 contracts or something he put in each trade. So it's not like he had you know tens of thousands of dollars in there and he pulled out $2,700 at the end of the day. That's not it at all. I think he traded maybe, and I don't even think he traded 10 contracts, just a few contracts. So, um, but anyway, trading involved. First of all, you have to stay positive. I know it's very difficult to do in a time like this, but you got to approach this with a very positive attitude. If you don't have that positive attitude, don't get into a trade. All right, seriously, you'll just have to protect your assets and just stay, just relax a little bit until you have that positive feeling. So, how do you get to be positive? How do you get positive and you stay positive? You have to separate fact from fiction. And one of the ways I do that, believe it or not, is I turn the news off. I don't really want to watch the news. I don't want to read the paper anymore. I'm just so tired of hearing all that stuff. Go listen to some music if you really want to hear something. Go for a walk. Take the dog for a walk. Go talk to your dog. Amazing how much wisdom she can give you. She doesn't care. She's happy. Why is she so happy? Why? Because she doesn't know anything. Um, you ever see happy people, Alex? And you say, "Why are you so happy?" And then you look at it and you talk to them, and they're clueless as to what's going on in the world. It's amazing. I'm of the opinion now. I mean, a month ago we were talking, oh my gosh, impeachment, impeachment, impeachment. Everything was impeachment. You'd swear there's no other news that's happening around the world. And then suddenly, oh, coronavirus, coronavirus, coronavirus. Like there's no other news in the world. That's it. Page after page in the paper, every magazine, everything. And people are afraid to walk out on the street or say hi to their neighbor. Separate fact from fiction. There is a website. Do you have that website, Alex, where you can actually go get the stats on this stuff? It's scary. It is scary. I'm not going to kid you. It's scary to see this stuff, but you can't let it. Um, I don't think you can let it get you down. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can live your life worried about if you're going to fall out of a plane or not. So you're always carrying a parachute with you. But there is Johns Hopkins University has this site. I'm sure many of you know this already. This gives you an update, and it's bad. I understand it's bad, but you know it's going to get better. Already in China, they are seeing a move to the downside. Let me see if I can find here it is, 81, almost 82,000 cases in China. But look at that graph. It's already leveled off. All right, 3,200 deaths, 3,300 deaths. But look at the recovery rate. Almost 74,000 have already recovered. Folks, they're closing hospitals now in China. All right, they're closing them because people are going home. We are a couple weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks behind all of that. It's going to wash out. It's not the end of the world. We've gone through this. We've gone through the swine flu. We've gone through mad cow. We've gone through the bird flu, the this flu, the that flu, all of that. So just split out the fact from fiction and don't worry so much. Be concerned, wash your hands, do all those things, but don't let it actually impact your life to the point you're ready to jump out of a window. If you need to, all right, and it's a good idea, identify a positive that you happened, even if it's some small thing that happened today. I mentioned earlier I saw a beautiful sunset. You know, that little thing there for even a few minutes or a half hour, whatever it was, that was such a nice sunset. I thought that is really nice. Go for a walk, leave your cell phone behind. You need that time to veg out, to relax, clear your mind. think of some positive things. You play with your grandkids or whatever you do. Uh, Alex, what do you do to find a positive?
Uh, yeah, I'm not really one for sitting in front of my in front of my computer watching the news here either. Uh, I have I have a house here in the country. We spend time outside, go for walks, spend time with the kids. It's about enjoying life, and I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely. So just find any positive and, create an attitude of gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, be thankful. Oh my gosh, look at this. As bad as everything is, hey, guess what? I woke up in a nice warm bed. I got a nice family. I got a wife that still loves me. I got food in the fridge. It's a nice day outside. I've the house is warm. It's clean. I've got clean running water, hot and cold. I mean, those things I just, listed right there, you're probably about 98% of the head of the rest of the world. Most people don't have those luxuries. I got a car, I got, that runs well, a late model car. I've got, two or three or four. I got gas in the tank. You know, I mean, there's a lot. I got my health. You know, most people in the world can't say those things. So create an attitude of gratitude because when you have that, you attract more things, more good things come to you. In your gratitude, more things, and all that actually works out really well. So, and then the next thing here in volatile times, here's kind of what we did, and it's a shock. There's no question when we saw the market suddenly tank, and it happened very fast. Whenever a major event like this happens, what just happened here several weeks ago, you need to stop and assess the market. All right, do not get into a trade when some really goofy thing is going on like that because it can actually, hurt you and you don't want to be hurt. It's better to not be in a trade wishing you were than to be in a trade wishing you weren't. So simply stop trading. Consider that if you have your capital at the end of the day, you're doing very well. And I think that's really important. Um, you know, I'm just trying to get this here. Okay, this thing's driving me crazy. All right, there it is. There. I had an underline under space. There we go. So hold off trading until you understand what's going on. Figure it out. Throughout the whole impeachment process, the stock market continued to hit record highs almost every day. Suddenly, the news with the coronavirus has a strong impact to the point that it dropped when the World Health Organization announced, a global emergency. We saw a massive tank. That was a real kicker. The market didn't know how to react. The market can handle good news. It can handle bad news even, but it can't handle uncertainty. Well, that was a real uncertain thing. Oh my gosh, this thing's coming out of China. Now it's going into other places, going to Italy. It's going to here. It's going to there. And what's going on? So the market pulls back. Just stop trading until you understand the situation. Later, you can enter carefully. All right, start with a lower capital and lower expectations. So if you normally would have say traded $5,000 or $6,000, maybe pull back to $1,000 or $2,000 until you kind of figure things out and you get very comfortable with what's going on. And instead of looking for 7 or 8%, maybe scale it back to 4 or 5%, right? And just kind of see, well, how's this all working out? We've got a lot of volatility. Options are very expensive. The moves are huge. I don't know. I didn't see what the volume is like, but I know the volume is just way off the charts these days. Way off the charts. Alex, I don't know if you've got your Thinkorswim open. Maybe you can pull that up and just see what the whole volume on stock is today. If you can, if you got the number, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 2.5 million shares today. It's been like that every day. Prepare for a 4 or 5% gain at first until you're comfortable with the risk, and then ramp it up higher. Okay. All right. So what's going on? We got this coronavirus, COVID-19, and volatility in the market. This is the effect of market stimulus that I noticed. It doesn't seem to be responding. I could be wrong, Alex. You're the smart one. I could be wrong. It just doesn't seem to be responding to throwing money at it. Here's what happened in the last several weeks with this thing. I can't believe it's been about a month here. Um, I believe that was the first stimulus when, and I could be a little off on this. I didn't actually get the dates, but I remember when the Feds took a surprise announcement of lowering interest rates. So we got a short-term jump, but it didn't last long. All right. Suddenly it hit a resistance and it reversed. The market didn't seem too impressed with that. I think they're looking for, they want to get rid of the virus. Right? They're not interested in spending money. They've got money. It's not a problem with the demand. They can afford things. It's just that, everybody's got a job at that point. Uh, but they're all afraid to go out of the house. Next came, I believe it was an announcement that the U.S. was going to commit something like $1.5 trillion to get this thing solved. Another jump, another very short-lived jump. Next day, it already collapsed again. Another stimulus with the Feds dropping the rates again. I don't even know what the rate is now, zero or close to zero. It just doesn't seem to have a long-lasting impact. And now we have the what is this? The $2 trillion stimulus package, which is actually trying to help people who lost their jobs, their businesses. Not sure how all that is going to wash out, but somebody is going to be paying for that. But for the last couple of days, we saw the market going up. But the way I see it right now, and I don't have the current numbers, but we were looking up at getting some sort of a resistance number there. I don't know if this is another dead cat bounce or if this is actually something that's going to, stimulate the economy. Now, Trump announced that, oh, we can't, how did he coin it? We can't let the solution be worse than the problem or something to that effect. I think he annoyed a few people with that comment. But it's understandable that we have a situation that we can't stop living, right? The world has to go on. And so whether that's going to be enough to stimulate the economy back up, we can just wait and see. We can just wait and see. Just so you know, all right, one of the gentlemen that I totally respect and admire for his work is Tom Sosnoff. He is the one. He's one of the ones that came out with TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim. He sold the program to TD Ameritrade, and he started Tasty Works, Tasty Trades, and he has a morning email that he sends out to subscribers. And this is something he wrote a couple days ago, I believe it was, or maybe it was yesterday, I can't remember now. March 23rd, that would have been Monday, a couple days ago. And one of the things he wrote here is that, and I thought this was really, really important. There are certain events that happen throughout our lifetime that can be defined as random outliers. Maybe they happen once every decade or two, but regardless, they ultimately defy any tradable predictability. There's no such thing as an expert on random outliers. Everybody gets hurt. I've been hurt at this a long time. I've been at this a long time, and I have learned two important lessons. First, he or she who stays small will ultimately be the biggest winner every time. And second, those who stay mechanical will have an answer. Sometimes answers are as important as wins. It's not fair to call what we are witnessing today a learning experience. There are no repeatable lessons for random outliers, hence the name. So if you feel you've been burned because you didn't learn anything or you did something wrong and you got burned in this landslide, bloodbath, whatever you want to call it, don't feel bad. All right. Nobody could predict this. I don't know if you want to add to anything to this, Alex. Jump in.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway for me here is that there is a lot of variability here in the markets these days. Once the economy gets back open, though, we should see another solid streak, and the reason is because prior to all this happening, the economy was actually very strong. The data that was coming out in the weeks leading up to this, it was all fairly strong. It was solid. It verified the gains that we would see on the markets, and that's important. It means that there's perhaps there's some inflation in the stock prices, but it's not so overly inflated that if the economy trips, then it all falls. Um, the losses of late have been incurred because of this game-changing news item, but it is a temporary thing. And once these restrictions are lifted up and we can all get back to work as normal, we'll be able to see the economic years turning again, and we should see a bit of quite a lot of a climb up again. So I mean, these are very exciting times. We do have to watch for variability like we've seen, but I think there are going to be some really great opportunities here for trading coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that what we're going to see is actually a boom. All right, we're going to see a boom here. What's going to happen is when this clears up, and I'm going to tell you my opinion. That's all it is an opinion. But I think that someday, sooner than later, somebody is going to come out with a cure or something that is going to, you know, put an end to the concerns as much, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, a cure or something to curb it or control it or something. And it might be gradual because it might taper off first, or it could be sudden. But as soon as the headline is going to appear, we have a cure, I think instantly you're going to see things start jumping back up and pushing up and pushing up. And don't be surprised if in another month after that, you're going to see record highs again. Because, like you say, fundamentally, we're actually very strong. A month ago, everybody was working. You walk around, there were help wanted signs everywhere. I had people coming up to me and say, Hugh, do you know anybody who's looking for a job? I need help here. I need help there. I need, you know, I don't know if anybody's looking for a job. You know, I don't know. Everybody I know is working or doing what they want to do. So fundamentally, we're very strong, and I think that's going to revert back to that as soon as there is a cure. And then, of course, it's going to be, well, now what do you do with all these people, you know, looking for work? I don't know how that's all going to work out and pay back all the money that's been, you know, that's going to be handed out or whatever that's going to be. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but that's another issue. But I think to blame yourself or to say, you know, you didn't do something right, or you know, or you're looking for the next big thing. I think that would be a big mistake. And a lot of people tend to do that, where if they lose money on something, they're scrambling looking for the next big thing. If you know something has worked for a long time, stay with it, tweak it, you know, pull it back, whatever, and it's going to be pretty cool. I know a lot of people are online here who are sort of new, and I just want to mention that, you know, we teach this stuff in a big way, and you know, we'd like to talk to you if you are interested. It's very easy to get in touch with us, maybe set up a one-on-one. I just kind of want to mention that the website here gives you all kinds of opportunities to do that. And I do have some pretty good openings coming up. Go to the website, check out this video. It's a pretty cool video for about 4 minutes. It's pretty funny. And book a free consultation. Very easy to do that. I had somebody just before wanting to book some time. I sent them to this. Just click on this and set up to your calendar. Book a convenient date and time. Set your time zone. And like this, you know, you'll see some slots there open. Get in there quick because they do fill up fast. I think there's not too much here for the rest of this week, but it does open up next week. So get in there for that. But right now, I also want to tell you about something really cool that's coming up. We have another off the charts expiration day trading coming up. And this is actually really cool. For those of you who've been on these things, I think you know what we're talking about. In fact, Alex, I already got a few emails asking when we're gonna have the next one, and this is actually coming up this Friday, March 27th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark this on your calendar. I don't think you want to miss this. I don't think you want to miss this. Exciting, adrenaline rushing trades, same day expiration options. There's going to be no safety in these trades at all. Okay, you can either make it big or go home broke. Really, we don't want to go home broke. We don't want to go home broke.
But yeah, these sections are actually very exciting. I'm looking forward to this too. We've had just like a huge outpouring of demand for these. So we've started doing these a lot more often. We used to only do them once in a while, once every few months. Now we've really picked it up because I think an awful lot of people are excited to trade like this. Again, Hugh, like you mentioned, these are very quick moves. There's not really any safety. We're trading options that are expiring in just a few minutes, really. But the potential for movement here is just extreme, and while we do incur some losses, sometimes the gains are just phenomenal too. So it is going to be a very entertaining session. I think everyone in our trading room already gets this for free, including that trading room package. But Hugh, I'm sure you'll go over that in a second here.
Yeah. All right. So, and the cost is $49. Now, again, if you, just like Alex said, if you are a trading room member, you get it for free. It's all part of your package. Memberships are $99. You can get it, ask us for the link, or, or just go on our website and register, subscribe. And just to be forewarned, most people who go into the trading room like that, they tend to stay a very, very long time. So it's addictive. That's the other word I heard described here today by somebody. Let me see if he's on. No. All right, so $49. Click the link. I put the link in the chat box here, folks. Just click the link in the chat box. Sign up for expiration day trading. We're online for half hour, possibly 45 minutes, as we get into the expiration day trading. It's actually pretty exciting. These are the trades we did the last time we did this, which was about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. Two Fridays ago, March 13th, Friday the 13th. My first trade was a put. I was in there 9 minutes later, said, this isn't going the right way. Dump it, get back into calls. Picked up 449% on the calls in 15 minutes. By the way, sold that for $5. I bought it for 91 cents, sold for $5. But get this, before the end of the day, that baby went up to $9. $9. Can you imagine that? You could have made, oh my gosh, yeah, 10 times your money on that one. I was happy with, 5 times my money, but, or 4.5 times my money. High risk trades, folks. They are high risk trades. Never trade, remember, never trade more than you can afford to lose when you get into these. All right. But I also have people saying, you know what, I don't trade this, but I love the excitement of it. And it's really worth even the $49 for that. I also have people who are in the trading room who say the same thing. Of course, they get it for free and they really enjoy it. So check it out. Okay, once again, expiration day. We call it off the charts expiration day trading. It's going to be this Friday, March 27th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and make it big or go home broke. All you have to do is click the link in the chat box, or watch for your email. I think we're going to be sending out some emails on this as well. All right. And again, trading room.
Yeah, and again here, Hugh, this is where Hugh and I will be trading live. You'll be seeing Hugh's screen. We'll be talking about that decision-making process every step of the way as we make those trades. So that's really quite a lot of fun and very informative. Just a quick question here: is this fee per month or what? So the $49 fee for the expiration day trading, that's a single session for $49. That is the session coming up on March 27th. Trading room members get this for free with their subscription. Their subscription is $99 per week.
Okay. All right, some questions here. All right, let's get some questions. How about seeing a picture of Alex? I think one day we'll get a picture of Alex in there. Yeah, we gotta get a picture of Alex.
I think tomorrow we'll show a picture of me in the trading room. So how about that?
Yeah, you want to do that in the trading room? We got to get in the trading room, see a picture of Alex. And ladies, don't get excited. All right, he's married. You know what I'm saying? Okay, all right. But would you take home? Here's another question from Jeff. Would you take home $100 on the stock, whereas only $50 on the option? Right? I think Jeff is. I'm not so sure. He's. Would you take home $100 from the stock, whereas?
I think Hugh, you're talking about the leverage of options, and maybe you can go over how options are leveraged. So it's not quite the reverse, but it's just about the reverse. When you have a move on the equity, you stand to be taking home quite a bit more on the option itself.
Absolutely. The option will move faster, I would just a ballpark figure, say 10-to-1 leverage. So if the stock moves $1, your option will move $10 type of thing, or 10 times the value. And again, that's just really a ballpark. It's really not quite like that. Sometimes it'll go a lot more, sometimes less. There are other factors that affect an option price. And that's the thing with options. They are not a buy and hold strategy. If you're looking to take all your retirement savings account and throw it all into options trading, there's nothing worse that you can do than that. Kiss your money goodbye. You know, what you should do is take a little bit of the money and actively trade it and manage it. All right. And that's how you make a lot of money with options. It's also a lot of fun because you're actually trading. You're not just sitting there, your money's dormant or passive. It's not passive income. It's actually very active income that you're making off options. And the money is truly working for you. And I should tell you, these are not unusual situations where we make some pretty good money in a few minutes, especially these days with high volatility now. I would say it's quite normal to make your 4, 5, 6% in a few minutes, a couple minutes right now. And this morning I see, what do we make? I have it right here, 11.7%. I think that was in a few minutes, couple minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. That's not
I
unusual.
think that was in 1 minute.
1 minute. That was 1 minute today. 1 minute.
Wasn't that in 1 minute, Hugh?
Yeah,
You hadn't even finished talking about the decision making process about getting into that trade when the option had moved enough and you were already at your profit target. So
absolutely, absolutely. So, let me see. Let me see. What is the most contracts one can trade? SPY? Is there a limit or cap when buying contracts? No, you can buy as many as you want. As many as you want. SPY is the most liquid stock out there. It's the highest traded stock out there, and I find that as much as you can throw at it, it'll handle it. And I have traded in the past $100,000 trades. I don't do that anymore, but I have, and I got filled in a matter of seconds. Okay, so I don't know how much money you want to put on it, but I think that if you're going to trade $1 million in a single trade, you might want to split that up a little bit just so you're not affecting the price in any way. But I think that pretty well anything you throw at SPY, it can handle. I've never heard of anybody sort of having a problem with that. So,
and some trading platforms will limit the number of contracts that you can buy. I think Tasty works automatically by default. They limit it to 200 at a time in any single order. That's just a phone call to your broker, and they'll get that taken care of for you. You can get that limit increased, not a problem. It's just like a safety measure that's built into a lot of platforms. So if you're trying to trade more than what your broker whether your broker's default limit is. It's not that you can't trade more than that. It's just that your broker is trying to protect you. So give them a call and you can get that fixed.
absolutely. Okay, I'm just writing a name down here, somebody who's interested. So, you know what? If you are interested in learning more, just get in touch with us, folks. So, don't forget, of course, to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at daytrade_spy. And I think with that, we're going to call it a day. And we'll see you the next time. And thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Alex. Been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks you. See you tomorrow morning.
Dream, shaboom, if I could take you up in paradise up above. Shaboom, and tell me, darling, I'm the only one that you love. Life must be a dream, sweetheart, I'm all again. Shaboom, and home, with me to get home, boom, ding dong, ding dong, la 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 la. Oh, baby, shaboom, but then, life could be a dream, life could be a dream.